Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's Hunter, and I'm back with another F1 2020 video. And we got more league racing action. This time we got Mexico. So it's round 20. So I think we've only got two more rounds after this. We've got Abu Dhabi and Brazil, and then after that, obviously the season is over, and then we'll be starting ROR on March 1st, and obviously I'll still be participating in UNF1. So yeah, it's been a hectic season. I think at this point, as I've said in previous videos, a lot of people have lost motivation. A lot of the leaderboards are quite locked in, or a lot of the spots are quite locked in. So some of the people have really just taken this time off, really taken it to get a break from F1, because I don't blame them, because this game is kind of when you're actually trying to do well at it, it takes up a lot of your time, honestly. So yeah, a break is always needed from this sort of game. But yeah, we didn't have too many guys for this session. I think we maybe had like 14 guys, 15 at max. And then obviously with the DNFs and stuff that happened during the race, I don't think too many. I think it was maybe 12 people finished. So yeah, a little bit disappointing with the league kind of finishing out this way. We're still in 5th in the drivers, 3rd in the constructors, but I've been in really good form lately, not only in this league but in UNF1 as well. I haven't finished outside of P4 in a single race. So yeah, and then even in this league, we had USA where we got pole, finished P2. Japan obviously didn't go the way we wanted, but we've just been on really good form. So I hope that Brazil, the league ender, does have a good amount of people there. So but getting into the start, this is gonna be a hectic one, a longer video than normal. We get a great launch, so does TC, and we're just gonna use TC slipstream to really just, we're 3 wide right now, and then we make it 3 wide into the next category of cars. So it's me, TC, and Groovy going into this turn 1. Luckily, keeping it clean, we get our elbows out and make sure that we secure this P2 position, but we don't get the best exit, and TC still has an opportunity, but we use a little bit of ERS, maybe a lot of ERS, to really secure this position, because I knew I didn't want to lose that position to TC. I think if once you start losing positions in lap 1, it's really hard to get back into the groove of going forward. So really good lap 1. Well, not even lap 1, first straight. Obviously, we all know that Mexico has one of the longest straights, if not the longest. I don't know, with Vietnam and just, yeah, there's so many long straights on this game now, it feels like. Luckily, Vietnam won't be on next year's game. What a waste of money. What a waste of time that track is. Anyway, we're going to stay on board for, I think, another lap, because you guys will notice some of the boys make a few mistakes, open a few little doors, but yeah, no, this was a really fun race, and that's why you guys will notice that it's a little bit of a longer video. And yeah, comparing it to USA, where I was in P2 and really it was just no man's land. Like, this was a complete different type of race, as Groovy kind of struggles in this little S chicane. I don't even know what to call that part. She has a couple struggles out of that zone, but not enough to give us really any opportunity to go for the pass. It's not too wide here, it's pretty narrow, as he makes another mistake, but it's still just too narrow for us to make any sort of attempt at passing him. And you'll see later on during the lap, I think he definitely slaps on some ERS and tries to build out this gap, because yeah, maybe he's noticing, oh, Hunter might have some pace, because yeah, he definitely slaps on some ERS, because there's no way even though I did lift during the S section, this man pulled out a second and some change on me within like half a lap. But anyway, I think we're gonna skip forward a little bit after this lap. The race does calm down quite a bit, as you guys see. We're gonna stay in 2nd, TC is in 3rd, Bio in 4th, and Nat is in 5th. And then things change a little bit. We're going into lap 8 now. You see some penalties have racked up for TC, and underrated Nat has for some reason moved out of the top 5, but we are just getting attacked like crazy by Bio, and just seeing how, or knowing how long this straight is, there was just no chance at really defending that. And even on the defense, like even coming back at him, it just wasn't even worth it. We didn't have the DRS. It's kind of like Canada, where if the person behind you passes you before that chicane, that last chicane on Canada, they are still going to get the DRS no matter what. I don't know why. I think the DRS detection point is just too far back, probably. Maybe that'll be fixed. I don't know, but I don't know if that's actually, I can't remember if that's how that works in real life. But anyway, going into lap 9, we're still just following Bio, and by this point I knew his tires were going off, so he goes into the pits. We're gonna stay out an extra lap because our tire management has been pretty damn good, but as you know, we are gonna have TC all on our ass. He's gonna be using a little bit of ERS, so we just park it in the middle of the straight and push him a little bit narrow. He's gonna still be at our side, but we get our elbows out, purposefully brake a little bit deep, don't give him any chance at getting a good exit to follow up, and that is really gonna be, he might be able to come back at us, but that 7/10 of a gap is gonna be a little bit tough. So you never ever want to go into the pits behind somebody that you've been ahead of the entire race. I think it's just a point of, maybe TC did have more pace than me at this point, but I think during the course of the race, I think I just had more consistency, and also he had penalties, so I really just didn't want to deal with possibly getting held up by somebody with penalties or anything like that. So we go very aggressive with the defending into this last lap on these soft tires, and it pays off in the end because he actually, you guys will see what happens. But yeah, we're heading into the pits now, lap 10. So obviously Groovy and Bio, who are ahead of us in a net lead, they have already pitted, so you see them go past us now. But TC does not get out of the pits well. I don't know if he gets held up, but he's actually going to come out behind Underrated, and 2.2 seconds behind instead of what was like, I think it was maybe less than a second. And also he gained the speeding in the pits, so I think that's basically race over, although TC will be able to serve that. I think that 5 seconds is in the next pit stops are going to be too hard to come back from, especially being that he's on softs now and he was on softs before. So yeah, he's going to be on mediums, so he's not going to really be able to charge too much. He'll have to get one hell of an undercut to really make a difference. But anyway, our main goal now is really just to charge down Groovy and Bio. So Groovy's in 5th currently, and Bio is in 3rd. But obviously, some of these boys that are ahead of us need to still pit. And yeah, at this point, I think we're really just gonna keep our ERS. You know, keep the Jarno Otmir strategy going. Save our ERS, save our tires as much as we can. This is actually a high wear track, as Bio sets the fastest lap with a 17.9. which is about half a second faster than my fastest lap. And now TC behind us gains fastest lap, and I don't know if we're going to really be able to defend here, as he gets a very good run. And yeah, he is just going to be zooming past us on those softs, and we just let him pass. I mean, we're on mediums, he's on softs. I know I'm on the better strategy. Even if we fall out of his DRS, it doesn't really matter. I think he's not going to be too much of a threat moving forward into this race. It's a very long race. We've still got a lot of laps, but going through these bots, as I said before, it wasn't a great turnout for this race, so there was a lot of bots. But skipping forward into lap 16, we get another warning. So at this point, I believe we have 2 warnings. So for the remaining basically 10 laps, we had to be ultra careful. We couldn't afford to really make any mistakes. So skipping forward into lap 26, this is the lap that I plan on pitting. You can see Groovy just went into the pits, as well as Most Underrated, and he's going to put on the softs. So we're going to really push this lap and try not to get undercut by Groovy, or, well, he was ahead of us, so really we're going to try to get a little bit of an overcut on him, if anything. But these mediums, They didn't feel terrible, but they definitely didn't feel great. I think by this time I was realizing it was kind of hard to push. You can see in the bottom right hand corner with that red the red dash, that means that our tires are over that 60% mark. So this just going into the S's, we really didn't want to go too hard. We took it pretty cautious, and yeah, we have a 14-second gap on our nearest opponent, and Nat is about 20 seconds behind. So really, as long as we don't get held, we should come out ahead of Nat, because Mexico just isn't that long of a pit lane. But you guys are gonna see right here that my teammate is in the pit lanes, and we just barely get held a little bit. He gets out, but obviously, as you know, F1 2020 has no brain cells, and we take a 4.2 second pit stop instead of the normal 2.6 seconds. So twice the amount of time that we needed to spend in the pit lane, we have spent in the pit lane. So Groovy gets out ahead of us, 5 seconds ahead, and also Nat is gonna be able to get ahead of us. And I don't know, I think that was a little bit of an angry I don't even know, it was just an aggressive use of the wheel. But we're gonna really try to make quick work of Nat. Like, we try to force him into this error, and for some reason this man makes us use all of our DRS. But later on I realized it's because somehow he had the DRS and we didn't. I don't know how, I don't know why he had the DRS there and we did not. But still though, it's an easy pass. Later on, actually, Nat gets a puncture. I think he was trying to do a one stop and probably didn't stretch his softs long enough, so he ends up getting a puncture and goes to the pits. But nonetheless, we get past Nat. Now it's on to Underrated and Bio, who I'm not too sure at this point if they need to pit. I think it looks like no, because Bio is now on the hards, and now I'm starting to remember that he completely fluffed his strategy, completely messed up his strategy. I think he was on a soft medium and did a soft hard for some reason. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't know that the mediums were possible. Maybe Jeff made him do some stupid shit. Excuse my language. But yeah, we're getting pretty close to Underrated now, closing in, really pushing, as you see, going a little bit deep, but we're really pushing here in these last 7 laps, because obviously, like I said at the beginning, this is when we wanted to be at our quickest. So we're using up a lot of ERS, a lot of fuel as well, to really try and catch these guys, because obviously, as we saw, Groovy was 5 seconds ahead of us coming out of the pits. So knowing that we have that 3-second penalty and Underrated won't be a threat, but we still have Biohazard and also Groovy ahead of us. At this point, I wasn't about to do the math. I didn't know where I was going to finish in this race. I really didn't. As we set the quickest lap, this actually, I'll just spoil it now. This was our first time getting a fastest lap during the whole season, and right here, it's just, this game is just incredibly annoying with the ghosting of cars, and this is why I think leagues really need to be held in unranked lobbies, because if you don't show, your car shouldn't be in the race. It shouldn't be able to, if you don't show up, you shouldn't be able to affect the race. And if I had recorded like the earlier races in the season, you know, the Monacos, the Vietnams, the Chinas, some of those early tracks, the bots literally affected almost every race. And of course, that's our fault. We couldn't get a full lobby. We usually had about 17 or 18, but those 3 bots would always mess up somebody in either qualifying, or they would just absolutely go and send it during a safety car if we would have one in the first laps, because they just didn't know what to do, it seemed like, in those times. But anyway, as you could see, going into lap 32, we are about to pass Bio finally. And this one's going to be an easy pass, even though he's on the hards and he's going super defensive. We're going to be able to outbrake him quite easily. Like, not too much defense going on there, even though he was kind of putting on the facade. But yeah, no, this race was honestly, it was one of the most fun I had during the season. I would say this in Japan were two tracks that going in, like, I didn't really enjoy before, and then I did the league, and the league race really kind of made me enjoy it. Not because I did well, obviously I didn't do well in Japan, but in this one, I think doing well did kind of help me like this track a little bit. But I still know there's so much time to be held in some of these corners, much more consistency to be had. So yeah, I think next time I race this track, I don't think I'm gonna let first place fall out of my hands. I think a better qualifying possibly would have done us well, but at the same time, starting in fourth was probably the best position that we could have started in that position, like in that starting sequence. Like, starting in fourth right there just gave us the opportunity to not really take any hounding from behind, and really be able to attack the people ahead, because you know TC got an amazing start, so that really helped us get an even better slipstream from him. And yeah, it was unfortunate that we couldn't also get Groovy. I wasn't in the middle, so maybe if TC had gotten his elbows out a little bit wider, we would have been able to take P1 off of that. But Groovy obviously managed to take the P1 into turn one. So as we kind of flipped through, this was a scary moment. That was a scary moment. I remember being in the race and thinking, like, for one, how did TC not just die? And two, how was that an illegal overtake? But I think I remember the illegal overtake was because of the yellow flag that Celestial caused. Celestial was actually slowing down for a blue flag. I didn't realize that he was ghosted in the race. So yeah, going in the last lap, TC is gonna get past us. Don't really fight it too much. Kind of went for a little bit of a cutback, but nonetheless, fair enough, he can have that position. We knew we were gonna be in P2 at the end of this race. There really wasn't any chance of us getting another penalty unless we just full on cut the entire track. So yeah, P2 in Mexico is our second P2 in a row. As we literally almost spin on the last lap, that was, my heart just dropped at that moment, because yeah, that could have been the saddest moment of my life. It would have been F1 2020 Gives Me Depression Part 2. But anyway, yeah, no, it's P2 in this race, and it doesn't necessarily push us up in the standings, as Azure had a decent lead on us, but nonetheless, it still puts us in a position to possibly make a run for fourth place, maybe even third place in the last two races. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, a little bit of a longer video, a little bit harder for me to commentate and keep the entertainment levels high in these types of videos, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next race will be Abu Dhabi. I already streamed it, but I don't think I'll be doing a recap on it. If you guys want to go watch it, just go and watch the stream. And so yeah, our next race is tomorrow. It'll be Brazil, and hopefully that is a good one. It's the season finale. So I will see you guys then, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Please subscribe if you guys want more. Yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next video.